Are we filming? Yes we are. Welcome to another video. This is in two parts because I bought this Filofax very recently, and it was completely stuffed with inserts, and I like that. And I think that is how a Filofax should be. I just like the vibe of a very, very simple Filofax that is not overstuffed, but is full, and it just has a certain something, in my opinion. Maybe other people's opinions too. But I'm going to save the actual review of this very, very interesting vintage binder for another video. I want to share with you what's in here. This represents, I mean, there's a backstory to this. This represents a Filofax that was given to someone back in 1988, if we are to believe what the seller told us. And who am I to disagree? It sounds true. So this gentleman, as a young man, was given this Filofax by his father back in 1988, and the seller said that he hadn't used it. It had just been put in a drawer all that time. And indeed, the Filofax feels very much like it hasn't really been used much. I mean, I've got one here that is the same model, and this is seriously used. Which do I prefer? The used one, this is a Gloucester 6CL. This is a 6CL as well, probably from the same era. I don't know. On the one hand, this is lovely. This is the leather has been used in anger. It has some character to it, and I like that. But I also like the fact that this has some character in a different way, because this one hasn't really been used for nearly 40 years. And so I imagine that in 100 years' time, long after I'm gone, maybe long after my grandchildren are gone, someone out there somewhere will be using this, and it will look like this. And they will wonder, perhaps, who owned it? What did they use it for? How did it get into this state? But we're starting from almost a blank canvas here, because it has that longevity potential that is so difficult to quantify, but is certainly a tangible thing in the vintage Filofax community. Some people like pristine, or almost pristine. Some people, like me, you like well used. But as it stands, this is just a nice thing, and it's almost sacrilegious to split the inserts from the original binder, but I will, because I have to. But what I want to do is just go through what's in here, just as an insert exercise, and I want you to imagine the person who might have owned this. And there are a few surprises along the way, perhaps. But I've had a quick look at the inserts in here, and it does conjure up a bygone era. And I want to chat and share this with you. It's not a review of the binder, because I'll be doing that later. This is just an insert snapshot, and I want you to go back to 1988, when this seller decided to stop using this for some reason. I think he said that. Let me look at the dates in here. He said that it was given as a present by his father in 1988. And there's a 1989 diary in here, so I wonder whether it was a Christmas present. Who knows? But I'm just going to go through it. Let me know what you think. So, first of all, we have one of these dividers, which don't have a Filofax logo, so presumably they are an aftermarket set, maybe. But this is interesting. This is the academic year diary, week on 2 pages, July 88 to July 89. So, are these made by Filofax anymore? I certainly don't think they're in blue, but we have a 1988-89 academic year diary in blue. So, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday are squeezed a little, as you might expect if this was a student's diary or even a teacher's diary. We'll never know. But these are, and they start from June and July 88. So they haven't been used, I don't think, and they go all the way till we get to, oh, there is an entry here. We get into July 89 here, so a full academic year, and then it ends with, it says PC there. I wonder what PC means. I wouldn't have put this in if there was any identifying annotations. I would have just edited it out. But this is really the first time I'm going through this in depth. I've had a quick look, but another divider. And then we have a London tourist map, which says number MO5, copyright 1986. And it has a street index here, and then this is actually, it says West End Theatres and Cinemas, as you might expect someone toting a Filofax back in 1988. And then, somewhat unusually, and they were available at the time, clearly, this is a map of Cardiff. Cardiff, if you don't know, is the capital of Wales here in the United Kingdom. Cardiff Central. It's got Cardiff with the Welsh annotation for Cardiff. What's it got on the back? A comprehensive street index. But I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But I might keep it because it might interest me, or I might sell it. It's got some wear here where it's folded over and people have thumbed through it, so it's got a bit of yellowing there. But I've never seen a Cardiff one before. Then we have the London Underground and the intercity routes here in the UK, copyright 1986, UK rail and motorways. Interestingly, I'm just trying to think when the M25, which is the circular motorway that encompasses London, was built. I believe when the copyright of this was made, there was no the M25 still hadn't been completed. I think they started it in 1974, the earthworks. I remember living nearby and seeing the earthworks in Surrey, which is south London. But no motorway guides. Just we've got motorways here. Oh, sorry, we do have the M25 here. All right, okay. So I was thinking of something else there, but we do have the M25 there. Interesting. Peckham Rye, New Cross Gate, Balham, Mitcham Junction, Wimbledon. Very topical at the moment. And then we have another Cardiff. Okay. So is this the same one? No, it isn't. So 2 Cardiffs. M33, and this one is also M33. But they're not the same. They're not the same. That's interesting. I'll have to have a look at that. But 2 Cardiff maps. Maybe it's a set. Maybe it is a set. Another divider. And then a timeout Filofax guide. Late and all-night London nightclubs, all-night sports centres, emergency locksmiths. That's interesting. Late pubs, everything in the capital that's open and functioning between 11 p.m. and 9 a.m. So I'm going to have a good look at that. Eating, health and medical. Not much there, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It says here in the petrol, yada, 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 24-hour petrol stations accept major credit cards. But there is one here. The exception is Hills East 11, which sells for cash only, brackets no credit cards, reputedly the cheapest petrol in London by day or night. 4-star, which is a petrol that we used to have here but it's no longer available, had a heavy lead content. But we don't have that now. Don't have any lead in petrol. And it says here, brackets, 4-star, £1.57 a gallon. Well, we don't have gallons anymore in the UK. We're in litres, and UK gallons are different to US gallons, so you can't make a direct comparison. But a litre here is typically £1.45 at the moment. And there are 4.55 litres in a gallon, so do the maths. But back in the day, 1988, £1.57. Interesting. They do some other guides here, which I've not seen. Help and information in London, children and parents in London, eating out in London, shopping in London, drinking places in London, sport and fitness. And first of a new series, Paris, for tourists, students and business executives. A guide to where the real Parisians find their food, drink and joie de vivre. Now, this is all manna from heaven for those that were toting one of these Filofaxes back in the day. Back in the day, where the real Parisians find their food, drink and joie de vivre. And I don't think many people today realise just how important it was in the 80s to have that sort of specialist, that type of specialist information at your fingertips. So this was before the internet. Well, not many people had the internet. I'm just trying to think. I had the internet. I connected to the internet in 1992, which was very early, very, very early. And there was only one internet service provider at the time that gave access to individuals like me, and now there are thousands of them. But before the internet, when it was just more or less available for academics, this was a fantastic resource. And I think about that. I think about people toting their Filofaxes around. I wasn't really aware of the Filofax thing in 1988. I got my first binder back in 1992 as a gift, and then less than a year later, I bought one in W.H. Smith's, and I haven't looked back. I've been a Filofax user every day, more or less, since 1993, so just over 40 years. I never had this sort of information. I never used it. I never purchased information, travel guides or anything like that. And I didn't even have any maps other than the ubiquitous map you used to get with a Filofax, a world map with the time zone on the back. But I remember looking at it and feeling good about the fact I had a map in my Filofax, because it was more or less the only information source that I had in my Filofax at the time. Everything else I added. So another divider, and we're coming to shopping lists. Let me zoom in here because this is really interesting. So this is divided up. Again, this is copyright 1986. It's divided up into meat and fish, canned foods, frozen food, vegetables and fruit, drinks, dairy, bread and cakes, spices, pet foods. It is a sign of the time, is it not? And then on the back you get miscellaneous grocery, miscellaneous household, and then at the bottom notes, reminders, brackets, bank, post office, newsagents, etc. Fair enough. Let's see, he had quite a few of these in here. I assume he bought these. I'm assuming his father didn't choose the inserts for him. I assume that they were in here. He just presumably bought a pack, maybe of 20 sheets, 20 shopping lists, put them in here. He hasn't used them. I can't count them, but it looks like there might be around about 20 in here. So maybe it was a good idea at the time, but he never got around to them. Another divider, and then we come to the travel planner. Depart, return, accommodation, address, phone, telex, fax. Telex, not only fax, but telex. Now, you can't telex now, but that was a thing. This is a blast from the past. Excuse me, my medication makes me yawn, but I'm going to crack on because this is absolutely fascinating. Costs, passport requirements, visa requirements, injections needed, insurance, travel agent, contact, address, phone, telex, fax, bookings made, confirmed, booking ref, and then we've got departures, departure, arrival, and on the back we've got car hire, contact, address, etc. And then don't forget to buy and notes. And we've got quite a few of these. Travel planner. Well, if he bought these, presumably in a pack maybe of 20, in anticipation of travelling, he either didn't travel or didn't use them when he travelled. Who knows? But that is a mystery again. But it's nice to have them. Another divider. And then, this is interesting. Chambers Spellwell. A quick and easy spelling checker for the busy person. 32 pages packed with answers to the major spelling problems which you face every day. And it's got Filofax written at the bottom. Preface. All but the most brilliant of spellers, and few can claim to be in that class, have to check the spelling of certain words from time to time. Of course, ordinary dictionaries can be used to find the correct spelling of words, but that involves sifting through information which is not required at that moment. It is time-consuming and rather frustrating. Chambers Spellwell is a quick and easy checker which gives you the answer to major spelling problems, a true ally for all busy people. And the inference there is, if you've got a Filofax, you're a busy person, which may or may not be true. And so you've got a series of spellings, not many, but quite a few. Let's have a look at some of the ones that they have selected. Foolish, foliage, voice, foe, fluoride, fluoridate, fluid, fluent, fluctuation, flotsam, flotilla, flotation, flippant. So all good words. And you've got, I think, 32 of these pages. But I've never seen one of these. I've never seen one of these in Filofax format, but it's fascinating. Words liable to be confused: accept, access, excess, addition, edition, adverse, averse, advice, advise, effect, affluent, effluent. Got to get those two right, haven't you? Otherwise you would be in trouble. So very, very interesting. And do you know what? I think that is absolutely fabulous. I might take this. I mean, some of these inserts will be dissipated. But I'd like to keep that Chambers spell checker, if you like, in a Filofax I use. I think it's a fantastic thing. Maybe on a journey, on a train journey, of which I often travel by train, and in fact I'll be travelling by bus quite a lot. I mean, I can drive, but because of my age, I'm going to be getting a free bus pass very shortly, in a few weeks' time. Which is probably going to be taken away from me because the government of the day may not think it probably will cost too much, and they may shift the goalposts. So I might have it taken away. But if I do get a free bus pass and I get subsidised rail as a senior, I don't like the word pensioner. Senior sounds better, does it not? Especially if you are a senior. But I might find that something that I can keep in my Filofax and read. Another divider. And then we got memos. And what have we got in here? To, from, date, re. So we've got quite a few of these. And again, probably about 20. So another pack. He's probably gone into his local branch of W. Smith's at the time, or John Lewis, maybe Ryman's, who knows. But he's bought some memos, he's bought some travel ones, he's bought some shopping lists, fair dues, and then we've got personal expenses. Again, we've got about 20 of these. So again, another set where he's probably bought some in anticipation of a Filofax organisation extravaganza, which didn't materialise. Notice these ones, which are copyright again, it's 1986, do not have the symbols. They actually have the writing. But there's about 20 of those as well. Another divider, and then another divider. And then we do have some aftermarket paper. Probably about 50 sheets. And then another divider and another divider. So this binder, what tales would that have told before it got put into a drawer? I don't know. But I like to, when I buy or come across this sort of binder, I like the ones that have had a life. Although I do like the ones that appear to be brand new as well. I'm going to be reviewing this one soon, which is, I'll tell you, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, but all will be revealed soon. But I like this. I like what the contents says about the person, who I will never know who they are. But the contents of a binder does reveal a lot, I think, about the person who dug it out of a drawer and decided to sell it online. And they're probably my age, maybe older. It's probably retired. And they're having a clear out. And it says quite a lot. Did they use that timeout guide? Were they on a train brushing up on their spelling? Did they go shopping? Did they travel? Did they go to Cardiff? Interesting. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I just think, I just wanted to share that with you. Just the sort of, the tales that are held within the binder, within the Filofax. I think that's a nice story there. But anyway, I'll leave it with you. Thanks very much for watching. Oh, let me zoom out again. Am I going to zoom out? Bit too late now, but anyway, there we go. Thanks very much for watching, and until my next video, goodbye.